me as we learn how to paint grass, beach grass. I'll show you my easy techniques that will inspire you to create beautiful grass, beach grass, with ease. Now what I'm doing here is something that's not required, but it's something that I like to do. I always do this because I like having a nice smooth canvas to work on. I like my paintings to have that nice smooth surface. Now I'm using this palette knife here to put on some gesso. Now the reason why I'm using a palette knife is because it glides over the canvas, filling in all the little valleys. Like if you use the brush is going to go into the valleys. That's not going to eliminate the valleys. So using the palette knife just glides over it, gives you a nice smooth surface. Make sure you sand it down when you're done, and that's it. Now I'm just putting paint on the canvas. That's all I'm doing here. Now what I'm going to be doing is painting a beach scene with a pumpkin. So I'm covering my canvas with the colors that are going to give me that beach sand look. That's all I'm doing. There's no rhyme or reason what I'm doing. I'm just putting the colors on. It's all going to change later anyway. This is what they call an underpainting, I guess. Or an undercoating. Or an undercoat. Or you can call it a base coat. Pick whatever you want. Now I'm going to start putting in my grass. Now this is all in the background, so I'm not worried too much about detail here. Now this brush is one of my funky brushes. To get these funny ends that I have on this brush, I hit it with a hammer, and it just gave me these rough edges, which I want for the grass. Just makes things a little quicker and easier to put grass in. Not worry too much about detail because you're not going to see a lot of this. It's all going to be in the background. Just filling in the spaces, that's all. Now I'm using my liner brush to put the blades of grass in. Starts creating detail. Just grabbing whatever colors are on the canvas. Just blending into the sand. Just adding some more detail. Some more colors. See, now that I have those background colors in the background, I'm using this liner brush now to start putting the detail in of the grass. Now I thin this paint down with walnut oil to this way the paint glides on nice and easy when I do this grass. Now I'm going to put a fence post in here. This is just the base coat. That's all it is. Not worried about detail right now. Now everything's still wet too, so what I'm putting on is wet on wet. This is not detail work that I'm doing. This is just blending. That's all I'm doing. Now the reason why I show you this picture is because it shows you the colors. You get a better look at it. Because this camera doesn't really pick up the true colors and what you're seeing. It's kind of blurry. Now I'm putting a little bit more detail. I'm using a smaller liner brush that I have, and I'm just putting in some finer details. Again, everything is still wet, so I'm not worried too much about the exact details. I'm just hinting some details. That's all I'm doing. When the paint starts firming up, like the next day, I'll start refining everything. But I'm just adding the colors that I want in those areas. That's all. Things will still change slowly. But the more paint you keep putting on, things start getting a little bit muddy too, so it gets a little bit more difficult to put detail in. So that's why I'm just throwing the colors on, and I'll worry about it tomorrow. I'll put the details in tomorrow what I want. Because it's hard when things are still too wet. Tomorrow I'll firm up. Might be a little tacky, but it's workable. Same thing with all the grass. We'll put better detail in tomorrow. And that's it for now. I'll just let this dry and I'll carry on tomorrow. I'm using my liner brush And each time I keep dipping I keep dipping it into my paint on the side, over on the side here. And that's been thinned down with walnut oil. So I take my brush, I roll it through the paint, and then I make one line through the grass on the canvas in a flowing manner. And I hold the brush too. I'm holding the brush where it's pointing up like that, so the bristles lay flat on the canvas. And I roll the brush onto the canvas as I'm going along. Now I'm ready to start working on the pumpkin. I'm just doing a basic outline of a circle of a pumpkin. Just trying to get a visual of how big I want the pumpkin to be and where I want it. This is just to block out the background. That's all I'm doing. All I'm doing is just throwing the paint on the canvas, not worrying about too much about detail or anything. That'll come later. Trying to get a nice edge on that pumpkin. Now I'm just doing this to get a visual of the pumpkin. That's all I'm doing. And things are going to change later. Still trying to determine the size of the pumpkin that I want. Looking at some shadows there. Highlights. Which will all change later. Just gotta let this dry. Work on the rest of the canvas. I still gotta fix that grass and I gotta put the sand in. Now this grass looked too cartoony to me. It was too much yellow, and the bright greens just didn't look realistic. I'm not trying to do a photograph here or anything like that, but it still didn't look right. So I'm kind of like knocking down the yellow colors, putting in more of a tan color, which like real grass is more tan than it is that bright yellow. And each blade of grass, that green grass is just too fluorescent, too bright for me. So I'm going to be using a darker green, and I'm going to go over each blade of grass. Like I'm doing right here. I'm going to darken each blade of grass. I'm not too worried about being perfect here because grass is wild. It just goes every which way. I'm just trying to darken up everything, get rid of that fluorescent green, that bright green. Adding some more of the straw color. See, that bright yellow is gone now, and that fluorescent green is gone, so this looks a lot better. But still room for improvement. I'm going to put some more of that straw grass in, those colors. More browns, tans. Now this is a good way of learning how to do grass, how to practice. Grass is just wild. It just goes every which way. There's some dead grass laying on the ground there I put on the side there. I'll be doing more of that later. I just have to finish this, and then I have to work on the beach. And once the beach is done, the sand, then I can start laying some more dead grass down. That's looking good. Now I'm going to start working on the sand. Now sand is just highlights. It has bright spots and dark spots. That's all it is. Lights and shadows. See, now I can start laying some of that dead grass on the sand on the beach. And then the last thing to do would be the pumpkin. Looks like that's done, and now we can work on the pumpkin. appreciate you tuning in. If you'd like to discover more about this art piece, please visit Salty Air Artistry's website. Thanks once again for tuning in. And if you do like this video, please like and subscribe because it helps me create more painting content for you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.